Up, everyone? It's Tuesday evening, a day later than normal, and I'm watching. Joe, you're sitting in a glass box. What happened, mate? Why are we a day late again?
I'm in Font mate. Huge drive yesterday. You know exactly why. Like I was battling away, mate. Driving from Norwich all the way down to the Pyrenees, all in one go. Knocked it out, mate. You think Ironman's an endurance test? You should try doing that.
I remember I called you real quick yesterday, and you literally had something like a mile left on the fuel tank, and it was 3 miles down to the gas station, wasn't it?
Oh, mate, like I missed a bloody gas station, so I'd been timing it. So I knew that I was going to have to stop a few times. So I was timing it to stop at the last gas station and then still have like 15 miles because I didn't want to stop any sooner than what I had because I knew I was going to be stopping quite a few times. Anyway, so I was like, right, 15 miles left. That's basically as low as I can leave it. And there was roadworks, like signposts, and I was looking for it. It said it's 1 kilometer away, 1 kilometer, and I was looking. Then there was all these roadworks, and I saw a turn, and I thought it looked like a normal slip road coming off the motorway, and I thought, oh, that's going somewhere because it was signposted to go somewhere. And little did I know that was the bloody turn for the service station. I was like, oh shit, like they're not that often on this motorway. And then you rang me up when I had about 6 miles
Meine
left, and I
Güte.
remember at that point it said 10k to the nearest gas station, and I had 6 miles, which is like 9.5 kilometers left. So I was like, well, that should be all right. I had to knock my speed for the last 20 miles down to 60 miles an hour on cruise control, literally as fewer surges. Basically, my car was bonking. It was like you're in an Ironman, you're running out of fuel. Someone puts a surge in, you can't go. You need to monitor them carbs, don't you? My
You
car
were
was like
you were
chugging through the
definitely
carbs.
riding under. You were definitely riding under
Yeah.
your wanted race pace, weren't you?
And then when you rang me, I hit a fucking hill and it ended me, mate. It went from 4 miles, all of a sudden it went three, two, one, naught, like that, literally in about 30 seconds. And I was speaking to you and I was like,
That's
shit, I've got no fuel left. Like it's on zero.
translating translating that to an Ironman course. If you didn't do a course recce and you get, for example, Ironman course just before you get into transition, you've got this horrible hill, 20%. That fuel tank is going to empty, isn't it?
That was what it was doing, mate. And I was thinking, oh no, I'm going to end up having to run to the petrol station. That's going to be so annoying. It was really hot as well there. It was like 30 degrees. But luckily, I managed to just nurse it in. I don't know how much I had left, but I had to do the last 3 or 4 miles on zero. And I was like, I can't be dealing with this. I've still got like
Do you,
200, 100, no, about 150 miles left. I drove
do you
850 at
think
that point.
car manufacturers always calculate in Fruit Loops like you, so they know some people will drive it down to like something like zero? So they think if it's at zero, it's still got 2 liters left. So you actually still got something like 20
Yeah.
extra
Yeah, well,
K.
I did think that. I did think that because I'd heard it on Top Gear, they'd done it before. So I did think that, but still, it's still a bit worrying, isn't it? But that's the first time I've actually been on naught. My car hasn't bonked on me yet, mate. Like, I'm good at nursing them through. I normally give them enough carbs, they don't bonk.
What? So
It's
how
fat
was the week?
adapted, mate, so it gets through.
How was the week then? Any highs and lows? Coming down for sub seven?
uh,
Still on a cloud? Or
well, just back into training, which is actually really nice because it's been so long since I actually got into proper training. Really, I mean, I did do a few weeks before sub 7, but like, nice knowing that you can get in something, and obviously coming off the back of that result, it's quite good. It's always nice when you get back into training after a good result rather than a low, isn't it? After a low, you're always a bit demotivated, aren't you? And like, oh, do I have to? But
Mhm.
after a good result, it's always quite nice. But I'm just pleased to be there. And then training in Font is like a massive high because for me, it's like the best place I've been for training. But the low was definitely taking on that 1,000 miles, mate. Like I had when I was talking to you on the phone as well. Someone had a go at me in the service station. So when I was talking to you the first time and I was in that service
Yeah,
station,
yeah.
stopped for the
You
first
were
time.
trying
So I
to pay with your card or something.
no, yeah, but then when I went back in and I was waiting in the queue, weren't I? And I said to you, "Oh, this is taking bloody ages." Like, I swear some of these people come here for a weekend in France. Can you remember me saying that to you? Like, I swear they come to these
Yeah.
service stations for something to do. I said that, and then these Brits were in front of me and I didn't know, and they said, no, it's not anymore. Like I said, oh, like God, this is like something about they're taking ages. Like they're just coming here it's like they're coming here for a day out. And he said, he had a go at me. I can't remember exactly what he said, but he had a go at me and he said, "It's not listening to your better than listening to your conversation," or something like that. And I was like, "All right, well, chill, calm down." I didn't, you know. But yeah, the low was I was flagging at one point as well. I had 250 miles to go, and I thought, "Oh no, the tiredness has come on." Actually, 200 miles left. So I'd been driving, I don't know, probably for about 12 hours at this point, 13 hours, and I'm like, "Oh no, I'm starting to flag." Luckily, mate, I had a backup Red Bull. perked me
Yeah, yeah.
right up. Like, oh
I
my
always,
God.
I wanted
And
to say that. I always bring
yeah, you
something
need
like
to
two
get one.
cans of Red
I
Bull.
told Lee, my friends are come driving down to Nice as well, which is like 14, 15 hours from where we live. And I
I'm
said,
driving
get a
down next
backup Red
Friday.
Bull. You need a backup Red Bull, mate. Honestly, that thing did give me bloody wings.
Mate,
I was
I
revived after that.
always, I know, I always bring two. When I went to see you in Berlin, you know, I'm a proper bro. I back you up. I went out there. You called me, and I had like such a short notice. I banked that car.
You
We
just went
drove
there to
off eight.
schmooze. You just went there to schmooze Blumenfeld, mate. You just taking him round the race circuit in your car, treating him to all kinds of perks. You never take me around your racetrack in your car
Shut
before.
up, mate. Who brought your watch down the race where you were stressing out? Who brought you food and all that? It's your boy the mozzarella. But anyway, we were
Oh, one
driving
last
in the
high.
middle.
Oh, sorry, go
Oh,
on,
oh,
carry on. Sorry.
yeah, we
Yeah,
were
go on, carry on.
driving in the middle of the night. Literally, we arrived in near the Dresden at 3:30 a.m. and I worked all day. I had Red Bull that revived me towards it, and then we literally had like 3-4 hours of sleep, and then we saw you guys, and then we filmed all day. So
Yeah, that must have been
the,
brutal.
the dude, I was completely. I don't think
Then you're
because after
riding
them
around in a
four
chain
days,
gang at
si-
55 k's an hour.
same, same. But them 4 days, it's like so. If you haven't seen the videos about sub 7, sub 8, they're on the Triathlon Mockery YouTube channel. But same for like St. George. We're basically starting 7 a.m. and we're done something like 10 p.m. in the evening, 11 p.m. and sometimes like past midnight. It's just tiring, really, for like them 4 days afterwards. When I came back, I was so tired for like 4 days. Honestly,
I can imagine.
takes it right out of
All
you.
right. Do you want to know what
One Red Bull can't fix that.
the highlight of the drive was? The last
Go on.
80k was on like really nice roads. I had them to myself. It was in daylight as well, just before sunset, probably about 2 hours before the sunset. And then I literally had no cars, nice mountain winding road. And I was just like keeping the revs high. I turned it on so you could use the paddle shift, keeping the revs high, putting the foot down around some of the corners. Had the tunes
A
absolutely pumping, mate.
young lad enjoying his
Thinking I was Lewis Hamilton,
enjoying
mate,
life.
until I run out of talent and it goes off the cliff.
Well, sounds good. And now you're in Font Romeu with a couple of others, getting some training in.
Yeah, getting some training in. Hard. I bet it never stops, mate. Bet it never stops.
When are you going down to Nice then?
Thursday before the race.
All right, not too far for the race.
And what's the plan for
All
the
right.
race? You're going to be borrowing my gravel bike, aren't you? Or because
Well,
you're
I
entered
have to
into it, aren't you?
see.
You can do 180 k's in the Ironman on a gravel bike. Watch out, guys! Mozzarella's coming for you. You're doing it, aren't you? The bike, you're doing the swim, you're doing the bike, aren't you? And then we're banging out the run, aren't we? Like a bit
It's
of the run.
so the thing is, I'm just physically I'm like not swim and run fit enough to do an
You know what
Ironman.
we should do?
The only reason why I'm coming down to flipping knees is for your wedding, mate.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
for your
Yeah, I
wedding.
know.
So while I'm out there anyway, I'm better make the most of it and just do like a training day. But then the thing is, I can't. My own car is getting serviced that weekend, so I can't bring a bike.
Such a shame what car you've got to drive down there in.
So is a convertible, and that's why I can't bring a bike. So I'm borrowing your gravel
So what
bike.
we should do, don't you reckon, is do rocks, paper, scissors and see who wins, and whoever wins gets to use the Argon road bike, and whoever loses has to use the gravel bike for the for the Ironman bike leg. Don't you think we should do that? That would be
Well, we'll
fucking
have a little
hilarious.
look.
Like, because the
That would
gravel
be
bike,
hilarious.
you can only have 35 psi in your tires. You can't have any aero mods, and you've got to see what you can do the bike leg in.
Oh my god, 180
108
k's with a
k's.
lot of climbing on a
I
gravel
might use
bike.
the gravel bike. We'll do rocks, paper,
That is good
scissors.
training. And speaking of good training, mate, my high of the week, I've done a 24-hour cycling race over the weekend. Literally 2 days before the race, someone rang me up and he said, "Hey, mate, my girlfriend listens to the podcast. She's a massive fan. I've signed up for a 24-hour race, but two of my teammates are sick. Would you be keen to race it?" And she said, "You're probably nuts enough to say yes." And I was thinking, that might be true. It sounded like such an awesome opportunity,
I had a terrible
like a
experience in one
race.
of them 24 hours. Yours was like totally different to mine. I did a 24-hour mountain bike race. I remember I got the train down from Manchester because I was at uni, so I had to get a 4-hour train journey down. I think I arrived there about 3 or 4 p.m. and I started at 7 p.m., something like that, 6 or 7 p.m. And it was called
Hmm.
Dusk Till Dawn. Actually, no, it was a 12-hour one. It must have been 12. It wasn't even 24. Jesus, like
Dude,
Yeah, so it
You
was
can't even
I
compare
know.
it.
Well, that was bad enough. I did that, and me and my friend, two of us on the team, there was four of us, were smashing the caffeine early, and people were like, "No, no, you don't want to smash the caffeine yet." And we were like, "Yeah, we're gonna."
Exactly.
We
Don't
did
smash it
that.
too early.
We had some massive lows where it was raining. I told you I had to sleep in the tent, didn't I? And it was freezing cold in the middle of the night, all sweaty,
Dude,
no
I had to
showers.
sleep in my car.
Yeah. I
It's
just had a bad
but the thing
experience
is,
with
so
that.
it's a 24-hour race. I rocked up the morning, so the race started at 4 p.m. I rocked up there at like 2 p.m. and I saw, wow, all these racing teams are taking it pretty serious. They had like these military beds. They had like these whole folding kitchens and all that. I literally I didn't even have a sleeping bag. I had some blankets in my car. I didn't even have food. The guy said I've taken care of everything. So I was thinking like hopefully it's all sorted, but I had no bed. So then the race started at 4 p.m. I had my first shift at something like 9 p.m. And the thing was, in the first, like the very, very first round, like literally the first lap, there was a massive crash. And well, not really a massive crash, but something like a crash. And then there were two professional teams, and they kind of like
They
with
tricked you. You
radios and
told me they screwed you over, didn't they? Tell us to do it how they screwed you
exactly.
over.
So what happened was when there was a crash, everyone waited for each other, whereas they just went on the brake and just bailed it. Whereas I was thinking it's literally the first lap of the first minute of the race. It's a bit unfair, isn't it? So then they got away and they managed to lap everyone real quick. So then 4 hours into the race, it was the mozzarella's turn, and I said, "All right, I'm going to try and take the lap back." So I had two others, and I literally just went flipping balls out, mate. And I I had unbelievable great legs, like absolutely awesome legs. So basically, 45 minutes. It's on a racetrack. It's quite undulating. So in total, that session, what I did was 75 minutes. That was the first turn. But 45 minutes, averaging 45.9 k's an hour on a road bike.
Wow.
Um, and I did the majority of the turns. I've got like all sorts of all-time high heart rate. Like I was flipping motoring it. I thought I was gonna die, but I loved it. So that was the first session. Yeah, just under 1.5 hours with 45 minutes normalized power over 400 watts, mate.
Wow, big
But
things,
then
mate. You should use the gravel bike then.
big,
I think we
big.
know who's using the gravel bike in Nice.
But then, so we took 3 minutes out of them. A whole lap would be around 5 minute 20. So we were just more than half a lap in front of them of like taking the lap back. But then what you need to go do is just like Formula One. You're coming into the pit stream. You give him like the bottle, and the bottle's got a chip, and you hand that chip, and then your teammate can go again. So he's doing another session of like 90 minutes, and basically they were trying to continue in the pursuit. They just weren't really
They didn't cut it.
well,
They weren't
unfortunately,
strong enough, were they?
yeah, not strong enough. So the lead was coming back to like again zero in the end. But then you get 3 hours of rest, and then in the night, I was thinking, all right, so the other ones aren't strong enough, so we can't take a lap, but I want to make sure we bank third place. So in the middle of the night, it was about like 1 p.m., pitch dark. I was saying to the boys that were in front, like the team that was in first and second, like, all right, listen up. If I say go, we're just going to go balls out, and then for 45 minutes, we're going to do turns and try to lap all the others, because there were four other teams that were in the same place as us on like third place, same laps. And we just did a 45-minute chain gang again, balls out, and we managed to lap him twice. So we know third place was kind of a bit secured. And then again, 2 3 hours rest. And you're thinking, all right, when you get rest, you can sleep, right? But it's not like that. You're coming off the bike, heart rate is in your throat, you're pumping of adrenaline, you need to get nutrition in, you need to get like loads of nutrition in. You're looking at like cheering your teammates on, seeing what's going on, because if he's fucked, he needs to come in early and someone else needs to come out, right? So you hardly get any sleep, mate.
Basically, by the end of it, were you in the K hole? Were your teammates in the K hole?
Well, then that's a really good question.
Did you junkyard dog anyone?
When no,
Oh,
not really.
disappointed.
Later on. Wait,
All right, all right,
it's coming
all right,
later
all
on,
right.
mate. Basically, at like 6 p.m., one of my friends was totally in the K hole. He did 3 sessions of 1 hour, and he had to go to work. So he raced all night, and then he had to go to work. His first shift was at like 8 a.m. He was the only one of our team that couldn't do the whole 24 hours. So we said to the other team that were in first and second place, like, hey, listen up. One of our mates needs to go to work. Sportsmanship. Don't go on a breakaway, as we waited for them on the night like a couple of times. They flip and went, mate. When we went in, they went, so they left us twice. It's a bit sneaky, but anyway, if that's how you want to play it. And then I had a shift again from 7 a.m. till 9 a.m. I felt so flat. I hardly had any breakfast and prep from like
You know what
gels
Lance
and all that
Armstrong said, don't you, to Pantani?
K-hole.
No, to Pantani on the
What?
mountain, didn't you? No gifts, mate. No gifts. That's what they were saying to you. You know, when you said about waiting, there's no gifts, mate, in
Yeah,
sport.
but this is different because they knew he had to go to work. If he didn't have to go to work, you can
Like
come
in
in at
pro
the same
cycling, mate,
time.
when you see someone stack it, don't you? Though, some team gets on the front and quickly rips it up in the echelon and totally fucks them.
Yeah,
No
yeah, true.
gifts.
But this is like in a 24-hour race. Normally, you want to try and come in the pit stream as with others because then they can't lap you. You don't want to leave the bunch because then you're like all out there all by yourself. But anyway, yeah, great session. And then had 2 or 3 hours of sleep. And after that, I did a 2.5 hour session. I felt absolutely awesome again. So in the end, I did 240 Ks
Flipping heck.
and 43.9 Ks an hour average
Mate,
is what
you're
I did.
using the gravel bike. You've heard it here first, people. He's fit, he's ready, and he's probably going to be beating some pros
On the
on the
bike.
gravel bike.
But I want to, about Ironman
Your
Nice.
plan, if you do
What?
Nice and you're on the gravel bike, your plan, and I will buy you dinner and drinks afterwards, is if you manage to get a faster bike split than one other pro on the gravel bike. Doesn't
Dude,
matter if
that
you're
is not
fucked on the
even
run. I don't
possible.
care if
If
you
you,
can't even
dude,
if you're
that's even.
I don't care if you're K hold and you can't even do the run. If you manage to outbike one pro and you're on that gravel bike, free drinks and dinner.
That is. Can I put my like race wheels on
No,
the
you
gravel
gotta have the
bike, or
gravel
does it
wheels as
have to
well.
be?
You gotta have the gravel
Dude,
wheels.
that isn't even possible.
That,
It's not like
you just said about
you'd
how much
struggle to ride
power
like.
and stuff you did. You were just bigging up the numbers,
Yeah,
mate.
but
We want to
then
see it.
yeah. Oh well, I've got the numbers. Like speed doesn't lie.
That's why we want
But
to. We
then
want to see you. We want to see you take down a pro, mate, on the gravel bike.
yeah, but that's like so
But it would
many
be it'd be one
resistance.
it'd be one of the top results on your Palmares, mate. Everyone's there. We're all
What
watching
about
it.
what about Joe? What about then? Because you're doing it on like a road bike as a
We'll do rocks
session.
paper
What
scissors.
if?
We'll do rocks paper
Yeah,
scissors.
but what? Listen. What if you'd wait after the swim so you're able to recover a little bit? You're gonna need it, and then we'll do a little chain gang
Yeah, the person on the
at
gravel bike's going to
Ironman
be really
distance
struggling, aren't they?
At Ironman pace legal distance.
Legal distance. When the motorbikes are
What?
there, we will be legal distance. When the motorbikes aren't there, we'll be doing a proper 2-up time trial. But you know what they say? If a tree falls in the woods and no one hears it, did it actually fall?
That is so true. Do you want to hear a funny story, by the way? So last week I was so after we've got this Wednesday evening right that we do with a couple of mates, and then afterwards we always go to this bar where we have just one beer or two. Anyway, so I was going to that toilet upstairs, and I sometimes listen to German après-ski music,
I
right?
hate that music.
You don't like it? I love it. It's like German ski party music,
Even
which
Ed
you
Sheeran's
listen
better
to.
than that.
Oh my god, no, mate. So basically, I was on one of these standing toilets having a little wee, and all of a sudden, I was hearing this German après-ski music, and I was like, "Really? Wow, that's a great song." So I was thinking, who would listen to this song on the toilet? And it was going on and on. I was thinking, oh, there must be a dude just sitting on the toilet watching videos of après-ski music. So while I was washing my hands, I said, "Great song, dude." But then I saw the door was slightly open and I saw no one was sitting there. I was thinking, huh? No one's there. So then I thought, oh, it must come from the ladies' like bathroom at the other side. There's a girl in there listening to upper ski music. I said, that's awesome. Like I've never met a girl listening to like upper ski music or something like that. So while I was walking down the hallway, I was saying, great tunes. And so I was coming down, had that little beer with my friends. Then I came home and I found out the music was playing from my phone in my pocket.
Oh, really? So you were that
I
pissed that you didn't realize that you were playing it yourself, and you were saying,
wasn't even pissed.
"Oh,
I was
really?"
completely
You were
sober.
saying to everyone, "Great tune, great tune." They must have thought he's off his head. Like,
Yeah, yeah, there was no one there. No one there. It was off my own phone. That was so weird.
so what about the
Oh
races this week, mate?
yeah. First, I want to say to the listeners, they can watch the videos. Might be a bit late now, but they can watch the podcast again on YouTube. We're gonna put them again on YouTube. They can see the faces and all the expressions that we're having, as well as Joe and I want to do more with the well, especially Pep and I want to do more with the videos. Well, we're going to Kona. That's we're going to do it anyway. But if you want to support us,
Even
make
if he
more of these
remortgage
videos.
his house, he's going to Kona.
Sorry,
Even if he has to
yeah.
remortgage his house, he might be sleeping in a tent in Kona and with a remortgage, but he's going to be there. He'll make it
Well,
happen.
you can see everyone. The majority really likes it, Joe. So
People love
and
it,
we
don't
really
they?
like
And
doing
you
it.
like putting
And
a
I
smile
just
on
need a
people's faces.
exactly. And I just like to go to Kona again. No, but honestly, if you want to like support us through the patrons page, making that all possible, then probably we can do some more of that later on in the year or earlier on in the year as well.
One result, by the way, that I saw
So
this weekend, and the shit's got real, mate, is Big Mets, mate. Big Mets, Battle of the Influencer. One of
the
your people that you want to scalp. Like Tom's got this list, if you haven't
do,
heard, of like influencers, people that do YouTube videos and all that. And he wants to. His target is just to take them down one at a time. You've taken one person down already, haven't you? Scott Bayvell. You just
exactly. But
you had to use
to
spy
be
tactics
honest,
though, didn't you, for him? Like kind of like
I had to
gamesmanship.
use slide tactics, but the big Mets is way out of my league at the moment. Like way out of my league.
But
I
in a
would
full
say
distance, he's
he's
not as strong. I think in a full distance, you could get close.
I wouldn't be able to. Otherwise, or it would be
You
on.
could
I have
psych
to
him
be
out
on a
though.
real, real.
You could psych him out. And
Nah,
he uses a
I'm not
glucose
fit.
monitor,
I'm not
mate.
ready for the big Mets.
But you
I'm
can't
not
let
ready
a
yet for the big
glucose
Mets.
monitor wearing person beat you, can you?
That is true. That is true. But Christian Blumenfeld also beat you.
I still haven't got over it, mate. That's what I'm most worried about. Like he's got diabetes and he beat me. I mean, wow, that's impressive, isn't it?
Meine Güte,
Yeah.
that is pretty
Wow.
impressive. Anyway, yeah, the races this weekend. Have you seen that ITU race? Holy cow, mate! What's going on in your background?
I don't know. I think the crowd's gone wild, mate, as they say.
Oh, wow. Like Joe is sitting in front of Ramo and his roommates are getting wild. Have you seen the ITU race?
Yeah, I did. Vincent Louis wanted to do one more lap on the bike just for shits and giggles, didn't he? Went flying through there.
I've just seen things on Instagram coming past, like Jonathan Brownlee with a broken elbow. Alex Shee fell off the bike in the same crash. Louis rode into the fence. So much stuff.
Who said
Forehand,
triathletes
Gustav
can't
Iden.
ride? Who is it that says triathletes can't ride a bike?
They're just.
Why would
I
cyclists say
think.
that?
I think Vincent Louis is just so keen on going long distance that he found the bike leg just too short.
Yeah, he's not a fan, is he, of the sprint, mate?
Don't you reckon?
Yeah, he's just not a fan of the sprint, is he, mate? Just wanted to do extra. Sorry, my phone cut out then a little bit. I'm on 4G.
He just wanted to.
In case
Oh,
you guys
yeah.
don't know, I'm on 4G. The internet in France is horrific. We've got Wi-Fi in the place, but it's too weak to do the podcast. So I'm connected to my phone's 4G, which isn't even that strong anyway. 2 bars, mate. Might not even last the whole podcast.
Exactly. All right. And what would you think is worse, Wi-Fi or the coffee?
Oh, I'd probably say the coffee. I daren't even order one now. I haven't ordered one like since I've been here. I took an AeroPress actually this time instead of my espresso machine, which is actually all right. Like, definitely recommend that if anyone wants an easy way of getting a half decent coffee. But the coffee in France, oh god, it gives you nightmares, doesn't it? Like, gives you the heebie-jeebies even thinking about it, doesn't it? Yeah. Like,
yeah, it does. It does.
Do you reckon we'll find a good one in Nice? Will we find a good coffee in Nice, do you reckon?
Well, that's the thing. Nice is pretty posh, just like Monaco and all that. There's a lot of like internationals will go there. So I think there's a better chance of having great Wi-Fi and great coffee. But like I said, it's not going to be a 9 out of 10 probably. But we'll come back to that.
We'll come back to it.
Yeah, the races of last weekend. So Big Mac stacked it. We've got Andre Lopez, fan of the show, came in second, qualified for Kona, mate. That's a huge step up for him. Another Sky Munch managed to win the race. By the way, if everyone wants like a full insight of race results and how that went, go over to Pro Chinese. We're just scooping over really.
With your friend Mark
There were
Matthews.
too many races.
You're friends now, aren't you? You're friends.
We've always been friends. So, Joe, let's go over to the main subject. I mean, it's more that's more important. It's all about the main subject. People want chunks of gold in the form of information. They tune into our podcast for information.
Do you think they see us
Let's
as an
talk.
educational podcast?
I would think so. Yeah, educational
Yeah. So we're going to talk
and.
about breakfast. Like,
Yeah, but honestly, we're going to
that's
talk about breakfast. Breakfast in general. We're going to talk about race breakfast. We're going to talk about breakfast after you went on a night out, something
this
like
was
that.
Tom's suggestion, wasn't it, today for the main subject of the week? You can really see we're clutching at straws here, guys. Like, no, but we're talking about breakfast and like, for instance, I'll kickstart it. Would you do training like on a fasted state? Like after you've done it before, I nearly bonk, mate. I'm terrible in a fasted
I
state.
can't do it. I
Yeah,
can't.
I get too
I
hungry.
would maybe do. I would maybe be able to do an hour easy ride
But
fasted,
do you know
but
what
I
makes it
wouldn't
worse
really
for
enjoy
me?
it.
When I know that I'm going to be doing it on a fasted state, like if I pre-plan it to do it in a fasted state, it's like I want food even more. It's like if you take away, uh, drink from an alcoholic, isn't it? Like, and you tell him you're going to take away his
Hmm.
drink, he's going to be all worried, isn't he? That's what I'm like with food. I'm a
Do
fat
you
person in an athlete's body. Like, I
do
like
you
my
think
food.
an athlete that is not racing fat adapted, but is doing so? For example, in your case, just you, Joe, doing one session a week fasted is going to help you.
I'm not fat adapted, mate. Like,
No, that's
honestly,
why. But do you think it would be helpful for you?
nah, probably not. Like, just eat more. I just shovel them carbs, mate. I'm a carb monster. You see, we were talking about the car, weren't we? If you run your car on
Hmm.
empty, is it going to be any better when you fill it up? Probably not, is it? It's probably going
Probably
to be
not,
fucked.
because you got to damage.
Yeah,
That's the
damage
whole
the
thing
engine.
about
You're going to damage the
fasting,
engine.
damaging the engine.
Yeah,
You're If you do that, if you and especially if you train too hard fasted, you're going to damage the body. You're
and
not recovering.
you know, you can't run a Ferrari on 4-star, can you? If you're a Ferrari,
Definitely
you
not.
need to put decent quality fuel in that engine. So you start putting
Exactly.
the cheap stuff in, you're going to get cheap performance out, guys.
It's all our opinion, by the way. Anyway, Joe, regular day in the week. What would you have for
We're more
breakfast?
Lambos than Ferraris, aren't we, Tom?
They're louder. Lambos are
Yeah.
louder than Ferraris. what what um what would you have on a normal day for breakfast? What did you have, for example, this morning?
Well, so today I had yogurt and I put like granola, bit of honey on it, some cashew nut butter, and then some fruit. I had a banana. I would have added some blueberries. That was what I had. But my favorite, what I've been having at home, is like a nice sourdough toast from the bread from the bakery. I have that, some cashew nut butter, and then sometimes some blueberries. Even on top of the cashew nut butter. Oh, it's magic, mate. That is. I look forward to breakfast. Like the thought
Okay,
of
I'm
not having.
hungry.
That's my favorite. Yeah, it's my favorite meal of the day, mate. I look forward to it. Like sometimes like smash like 4 or 5 rounds of toast, just before I've even like four or
With
five
with
rounds of
then
toast and 3 coffees.
with with exactly with great coffee. That's an awesome combination, isn't it? Fresh
Yeah.
apple juice
Oh,
from
mate.
toasted egg.
Tommy's yeah, he's got an apple
What?
juice in business, guys. You wait until we get to September, October. He'll be flogging that stuff like you won't believe.
But all right. And would you have different breakfast on tougher days? Would you get more carbs in, more carb focus if you get, for example, to an interval session? So, for example, if you do an easy run in the morning, would your breakfast be different than when you would have a 5 hour tough bike session?
I might sometimes have a little bit less, but the problem is, Tom, I just like the bread and cashew nut butter, so I just love the taste of it. And sometimes like, I'm just going to have two. And I have two, and I'm like, oh, I really fancy that again. So
Mhm.
then I have another two. Like so. It just depends on like how I feel. But to be honest, one thing I would say is when you're in hard training, don't you feel hungry every morning anyway? So even when you're on a lesser day, it's almost like you're playing catch up anyway, isn't it? Like if you're not training that much, like for me,
Yeah.
when I wasn't actually training that
Hmm.
much when I was getting back into it, it wasn't too bad. I probably would have a little bit less, but I find when you're actually training hard and you're doing big volume, you just feel even on your easy days, you feel starving the whole day, don't you? And it's almost like you're on that. You must be on a
Hmm.
deficit or something. You're trying to catch back up. What do you think? Like, what do you
Dude,
eat for breakfast? You
not
love a breakfast.
n-
This boy,
even when
I've
I'm not training much,
I've told you guys on this
I'm
podcast
always on
time
a
and time
deficit.
again, this boy will eat you out of house and home. If he comes on a training camp with you, guard your fridge, guard your cupboard,
But
like this taking it all.
the, well, maybe listen, maybe I eat a lot. I don't think I eat much more, but maybe I eat a lot. But the products you eat are so expensive.
Really?
what you
Hey,
saying? The cashew
hey,
nut
you
butter.
gotta fuel
I
that
remember
Ferrari,
when
mate.
we
You gotta fuel the
do
Lambo.
do when we went to New Zealand, you were picking products, and I was thinking like, oh my god, is he gonna really buy that shit? I remember that honey that you bought for $28 flipping dollars or
Oh,
$40,
nah,
$40,
that must have been
and you were
Seb.
saying,
That must have been
yeah, but
Seb.
this
That must have been
and
Seb,
then
surely.
this cashew nut butter for something like 14 euros, and
Oh,
I'm thinking like cashew nut butter
that
for
is what it
14
costs,
euros. Why
mate.
not just get peanut butter, like one
Oh,
of the cheaper
it's not
ones?
the same. It's not the same, mate. I even brought some cashew nut butter from Amazon to take out here specially. That was like 14 or 15 quid. Like that's the standard price, mate.
Yeah,
14.
exactly. You buy, so I don't know what's worse, me eating a lot like of cheaper
Me
stuff, or
eating
you eating
all of
like
the cashew nut
very,
butter,
very
or you
expensive.
buying the cashew nut butter. I'll buy it.
Yeah,
Tom will eat
holy
it.
cow, mate. Um, but anyway, yeah, I sometimes have I almost always eat oatmeal for breakfast because it's just very simple. I only eat different when I'm going on a training camp with you because
Do you?
then we only have like tea, yogurt, or like bread, and not really oatmeal. I did bring out some oatmeal in Girona, so then I made it myself. But yeah, normally I've just had oatmeal with a bit of fruit, but then that's it really. And then I eat a bit more on bigger days. But yeah, I always feel hungry. Do you remember when I did that interval session in Dubai and I had that bowl of yogurt and you surprised me with like a threshold session?
Yeah, wasn't it a massive thing? I can remember it vaguely. Was it like a huge breakfast what you had or something, or was it like a snack or something like that during the day? What was it? I can remember
I
something about this.
literally I literally woke up that morning. I was thinking, oh, I'll have a big bowl of yogurt. It was like shitloads of yogurt with like nuts and all that. And then 5 minutes after that, you said, "All right, you ready? Then we're going for a track session." And
Oh
I
yeah, I
literally did
remember
not
that now.
even finish the yogurt down my throat.
Yeah.
I had to stop that interval session because I was like puking halfway through.
Yeah, we knew we were doing that session. That must have been on a Saturday morning or something, and we knew we were doing it. You
I
must
don't
have
know.
just done it, like, you must just forgot or something that it was coming. But you know what though? It's
But
good
yeah, I
Ironman
feel
training. I know a guy that used to go to the fish and chip shop before he did a track session back in Manchester because he said if he could eat fish and chips from a chippy, real greasy fish and chips, the battered one, all
mhm.
that, he said if he could eat that and do a track session, his guts were ready for an Ironman and that gels wouldn't stop him. He thought it
Yeah,
was in
but
his gut.
I believe that. I believe like eating a lot of crap and then doing a hard
Do you?
session gets that tummy ready. Yeah, yeah, I sometimes do it.
Really?
I've done, for example, a 30K run where I stopped about halfway through and I would eat something like a meatball with a can of Coke and I would down it and then complete the rest of the run and I feel flipping awesome. That tummy is not going to cry me when it eats like 15 gels.
That's probably why Sam Long stops
But
at Mackie D's then, doesn't he? On his ride. Gets
yeah,
like
yeah, it
chips and
could
a
be
Big Mac,
tactics,
doesn't he?
mate. Could be
Tactics, yeah.
tactics.
Maybe Jan Frodeno does that, but he
Get
just
me.
doesn't post it on Instagram. Don't you reckon he stops at
I
like,
think a lot of people do it, but dude, I think a lot of people do it. That's the whole thing about eating, isn't it? Like so many athletes think, oh, I can only post about eating a salad or granola or whatever. Whereas if you're training 30 hours a week or just had a massive day, you could get some calories
what
in sometimes. Doesn't matter. I mean, obviously you shouldn't be eating McDonald's 5 times a week, but once a month or something like that.
what do you
Yeah,
reckon
I don't think
Blumenfeld
it's
has
that
before a
bad.
track session? Like what do you reckon he has to get his guts ready? Because he's apparently, isn't he, taking 120 grams of carbs in or 140 grams, God knows what. I'm surprised that Super Sapiens hasn't broke on his arm yet. But bearing in mind he's got that arm, what kind of
Uh,
greasy, horrible takeaway do you reckon he has to train his guts? What do you reckon would be his go-to? Pizza? Do you see him as a
I
pizza
do
guy?
know after like I think he's a pizza guy, but I
Yeah.
know after a session back in Amsterdam, he really liked to have something like a chocolate chip cookie and chocolate milk,
Oh,
something
chocolate
like
milk,
that.
does he? And chocolate chip cookie. He's got a sweet tooth, and he. God, watch out, Blumenfeld. Bloomy, that Super Sapien's going to be
I like chocolate
smoking. Yeah,
milk.
but you
I
haven't
like
got to
chocolate
worry about your
milk.
Super Sapien smoking on your arm, have you? He has. He'll get burns, mate, on his arm.
But
I bet next time we
would
see
you,
him,
by the way, if you go away,
his arm is smoking. Like, I bet he's got marks where that thing's been burning. What else did he like to treat himself to? Nice little bar of Lindt chocolate, 80% stuff, before bedtime with a cup of milk or something. I bet that'd be relaxing, wouldn't it?
I haven't got any insights in that, but I'll try and sneak in on the next camp.
Yeah.
There are
Kona
like
camp.
people
Maybe you
doing
could.
some TikToks in your background, mate.
Oh, mate, they love it. They absolutely love it here. I'm with a bunch of TikTokers, influencers. It's all about, guys. It doesn't matter how good you are at sport anymore. All it comes down to is what you post on the gram. It's all that matters in life now. Forget forget competing.
But anyway, coming back to that brekkie, if you're away, for example, for a race and you're sleeping in a hotel, it's always different. You rely on what's at the buffet. What would you go for race brekkie then?
Well, so at sub 7,
What gets that fuel start, that engine started, that skipper?
so what
Yeah.
I had for sub 7 recently, then, because that was at a breakfast buffet, didn't take any of my own food as well, so I was purely relying on that. And I had some scrambled eggs on like toast, like just like a normal size of that. I'd say I was going to say small for me, but pretty normal size for most people. And then they had this bircher muesli, that stuff, them overnight oats that are real nice. They put all kinds of things in there. I had some of them
Yeah.
as well. That was well nice. Bit of fruit on top as well, like some seeds, some honey. I just had that and some honey, and then
Mm-hmm.
on the way to the swim start, I had one of them Morton drinks. The one with 80 grams of carbs,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
they
the
would get, yeah,
360
they
ones, a
sponsored
320 or
320.
something.
Yeah, that was what I had for the start, and I felt ready to go, mate. I was like not too hungry. Smashed a caffeine tablet beforehand as well. 4 espressos as well. I had four espressos in one cup from the coffee machine as well.
Yeah, but for espresso from a machine, it's like one regular
Yeah,
one.
exactly. But and it wasn't even nice. German coffee. Ugh. You think an Ironman's going to be horrible. Well, it's not as bad as that coffee. I can tell you that. You eat that coffee, and then the thought of doing an Ironman's quite pleasant.
Have, have you ever heard? Have you ever had a situation where you would go for breakfast before a race and you're thinking like, "Oh my god,
Oh,
how is this gonna get me
yes.
run course?"
Yes, I had a flipping nightmare in Germany, 2012, Wiesbaden 70.3. I got fucking screwed by this place. Like, honestly, so I was staying at a guest house. I can remember it now, clear as day, like it happened yesterday. So I was staying at a guest house, like back, I couldn't get any accommodation for my man. I was an unknown then, like I was like on my own, I wasn't there with anyone.
Bit
Bit
like
like
me
you,
at the
mate. I
moment.
was like a wolf in the wild. I wasn't in any pack. Had no one with me. So I stayed in this guest house, and I said to him, "In the morning, I'm doing the race. Can you open up the breakfast earlier, like 5 o'clock or something?" I can't remember what I said, but something like that. He said, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, no problem." So I was like, "Great."
Jawohl, Joe, das machen wir.
Yeah, probably what they probably thought. Yeah, we'll see what this guy does in the morning when he can't get fucking into breakfast. Because I got up in the morning, went to get in, fucking doors locked. These people don't even stay on site. I'm like, shit. What do? I can't get any breakfast for a 70.3. Back then, this is my first year racing as a pro as well. So I'm thinking, Jesus, like I'm already racing against established pros, and now I'm going to be racing them on an empty stomach. Like I'm fucked. Like
You haven't been doing any faster training,
yeah,
so
yeah. So then you had to get the bus to the race start. And do you know what I had to eat? I remember sat next to one of the other pros. I think it was Holly Lawrence, but because she was racing there as well. And I remember telling her on the bus to swim start that I couldn't get any breakfast. So I was smashing them Cliff shop blocks. Do you know what they are? I think I added it up because on each packet tells you how many calories, didn't it? So I was eating gels and Cliff blocks, mate,
yeah.
for breakfast. I had 1,200 calories of gels and Cliff blocks. Shitloads of
Oh
carbs.
my
That was what I
god.
had. I remember it 1,200 calories of energy stuff before the race. I actually had an all right race as well, but I couldn't
Holy
believe it. I was
shit.
livid. I was like thinking in the morning, oh no, like what am I going to do? But yeah, luckily I took extra energy stuff out and just smashed the loads of energy stuff beforehand. It actually wasn't too
Hmm.
bad. It's quite light in your stomach, but I did think to them, why did they do that to me? Why did they lie? Completely
They
fobbed me
probably
off.
just didn't really. They probably didn't really understand it, did
What they
they?
probably
What you
thought
were
I'm saying,
saying?
are you going to be doing breakfast tomorrow? And they're like, yeah, of course we are, you
Yeah, yeah,
idiot.
we're doing the breakfast
Yeah.
every day of the week.
Yeah. That was one. Have you had anything like that before?
um, Not really, not really. I do remember like in the beginning, I didn't really know much about nutrition, so I was just eating the wrong stuff. Really, like not enough carbs. But
Not
like
enough
last
carbs.
weekend, it's 22.
Nah, come on. I know you. You definitely weren't not eating
No.
enough carbs. That I can't believe that.
But yeah, last weekend, the 24-hour race, I didn't have any breakfast because I didn't bring anything. So I literally did it on in the morning. I smashed 3 gels and two of them
Oh, so
bars,
you
and
were
it
like
was I
me.
felt
Got locked
so
out of your kitchen. Nika had
yeah,
enough, so she just locked you out before she went to work.
exactly. And that was it was literally down there at the racetrack.
Really. So What's this? I want to know what this Instagram post of the week is, or what's the moral with the breakfast before?
Oh,
I think
so
having breakfast is a good thing, isn't it? Like I think because I think it depends on how much you train. If I was summing it up, I'd say if you're training a lot, not having breakfast, you're already going to be in a depleted state training sometimes. So there's no point delaying it.
mhm,
And I think it just affects the quality of your training sessions, your recovery. And to be honest,
yeah,
I've never really done fasted stuff. I've never bonked in a marathon and an Ironman. I'm always feel like I'm pretty strong until the end. So like, just as long as you can digest the carbs, I think you're best off training
and
your gut to actually absorb carbs. Do you know what I mean?
and
Like,
also if you're not training that much, for example, between 5 and 11 hours a week, something like that, which then on a day where you hardly do any training, then for breakfast you could have something light, like not much. You wouldn't have them 5 slices of peanut butter what Joe has, because then you're gonna put on some massive weight.
yeah, they call me Ricky Fatten, mate, when I'm in off season. Like the boxer who gets fat. One thing I
But
would
I
say,
think that's
instead of actually not having breakfast, one thing that would actually be, or like, what would be really beneficial, I said it before on here, is eating the foods that are really good for your guts. I said it loads, didn't I? Kimchi, your
yeah,
kefas, all that kind of stuff, sauerkraut,
yeah,
like kombucha.
ginger,
Yeah, like all that
yeah,
stuff, food
that
that's really
stuff.
good for your guts. I think that is like the absolute game changer. That's what you need to get on.
But we've got more game changers in the future. But we're gonna save that for other podcasts. So basically, yeah, breakfast. Like your breakfast. Don't be scared to eat breakfast, especially if you have a hard day or a long day ahead. Get the carbs in. Get them. Get that carb-rich brekkie in. Joe, I've got an awesome Instagram post of the week, and at first I thought this was about you.
Me?
I thought this post was about you.
Oh,
Yeah,
really? What are they
is
saying?
a is an article, and it says British endurance runner wins a 22-mile race against a horse.
Oh, I've
So
seen that race.
have you seen
I've
it?
heard about it.
So all right, I'm just gonna like read the story. Ricky Lightfoot is a 37-year-old firefighter from northwest England, and he became only the third person in history, like in the flipping history of the race, since 1980s, who outran the horse. After the two
One
people and the
horsepower,
local
mate.
pub bet, blah
One
blah blah.
horsepower. I bet he was
So
neighing like
is
you wouldn't believe during that race, didn't you reckon? He's obviously 1 horsepower,
so
isn't he?
there's
He's beat a horse.
one.
1 horsepower.
He's beat a horse, definitely, definitely. So one thing is he? One question is, should he bark at the horse or neigh at the
Oh,
horse?
neigh at it. Play it at its own game. Neigh at that horse. Show him
True,
what it.
and I think 100%. I want to see you have a crack at this race and race a flipping
But
horse,
do
mate,
you
on a
think the horse
22
was on its
mile
last
running
legs?
race.
Do you think the horse was on its last legs? Like more of a donkey? Because like, how could a human beat a horse?
Dude,
More of a
but
donkey,
I'm
don't you
looking
reckon?
at the picture of that guy. I'm looking at the picture of this guy racing this horse, and there's a jockey on that horse as well. It just looked like a proper race. I'm going to show it to you right now. Look at that. It's not like it's some beaten up horse. It's like a
Oh
flipping
yeah,
fit
I
horse, and
thought it
he's
was.
running at
I thought it was gonna. I imagined
22.
it to be like one of them ones that you get on the seafront. You know, when you go down the beach and the kids are riding on like an old donkey, and they're like, "Yeah, come for a horse ride." And it's like he's like, it's one that no one wanted to use as a racehorse, but they're like, "Yeah, he can carry a kid down the beach for 20 quid." Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I thought it would be one of them.
No, this is a proper one. This is like a proper horse. That is crazy though. A 22-mile race against a horse. I wonder if that horse was in the race somewhere ahead, because they always start a bit quick. Probably, I think horses aren't that smart. They get like caught up. They get the chimp, and then he probably just went out way too hard and then bunked,
Should we
something like
give it a
that. What do
go
you think?
next year? I think the horse would
Yeah, we
probably.
could do. I don't know if
Well,
it's a bit.
I
Dude, that would make an awesome triathlon mockery video, wouldn't it? You and me taking on a horse on a running race,
yeah,
22-mile running race.
definitely. I'd love that.
And it's great training.
Yeah, that would be really fun.
If you want to see us doing that, sign up to the Patreon. Like we could get Pepe out. Is we want to get more of that stuff.
If we want to get more stuff,
And I've
but
got this other in.
the only way we can get more stuff and make it happen is from people signing up to the patrons, because that's just what we use the money for. We don't even keep it ourselves, do we? You're actually in debt at the moment still. That patron money is just covering up from your St George costs, isn't it?
Well, no, subset, yeah, definitely. So we're not using the whole idea behind Triathlon Mockery is, like I said in the beginning, is creating more togetherness and a bit of like banter in the sport, really. And I think it's working really well now, seeing everyone's barking like dogs. There's a high of me of the week, even on the race course, mate. When I was doing that 24-hour race, I had maybe 10 people barking at me like dogs. I was like, even here in this race, people barking at me like
Oh,
dogs.
what about Gustav
Um,
Eden saying he's not a fan though? What about that? We forgot to cover that, didn't we? Not a fan, mate. He hurt our feelings,
I
didn't he?
know.
Hey, what? How did he do in the
He did
race
hurt
though?
my feelings because he said very aggressive me. I don't support the show. I'm not a fan of the show. And I was like, mate, well, go
How did he do?
show some love.
How did he do?
I don't know. I don't know. I think he got junkyard dog and then got popped.
Last place, mate. Calm as a bitch.
Did he?
Last,
Did
yeah,
he?
last place, mate. Calm as a bitch.
Well, maybe he did it fast, not enough brekkie. But anyway, I've got another
He's
post.
going
I'm
to
going
try
to
and make
post
us
this on
hurt
the
for that,
Triathlon
isn't he?
Mockery.
If we race him in 70.3, he's going to try and hurt us, isn't he?
Dude, he doesn't even need to try to hurt me on a 70.3. Like that'd be easy for him. But anyway, have you seen this post? I'm going to post this up on the Triathlon Mockery. This is literally the junkyard dog, the chimp, and the horse combined in one. Have you seen that video
No.
of that dog that's going completely nuts, like this one?
Oh, yeah, I did.
So he's turning on the dog.
My dog,
That is
you know how that dog
completely
looks
nuts,
at the
isn't it? So,
start where he shows his teeth like that? My dog does that to me. Like
yeah.
if I wind him up, he shows me his teeth. Like, and you know he's got history, mate. He's
Hmm.
got some history, so you got to watch out for him. You know, you don't know what he could do. Do you? What goes through his mind? Does he
Really?
want? Yeah, he's in joking though. He's only playful with me, but he does put his teeth out. I think they do that. That's what they do. You know, because in the wild, I guess they would just bite another dog, wouldn't they? They just bite him.
Hmm.
That's what he wants to do to us. He wants to just bite us.
So don't you think he sees you like a little dog, and that's why he's showing his
He
teeth?
does. I'm not the leader of the pack. He in our house, Laura is the leader of the pack. The dogs will do any when she's there. They'll do anything she wants. She could get them to do anything. Roll over to get their food. Uh, Come here, do this. Like you'd almost expect them to go and fetch the mail from downstairs. But then when she's there,
Really?
yeah, and then when she's there, and I tell them to do something, it completely goes over their heads because in their head they're thinking she's the top dog and when she's here, I don't have to do anything that you want. So they don't listen. They don't listen to me at all. Like when she's there, when she's not there, it's like if I was in the military and it's like, all right, when the top in command isn't there, we'll take orders from second in command, and then they listen to me. But she never sees that. She's just like, oh, the dogs never show you any respect. They don't care what you say. I'm like, now when you're there, not there, they do listen to me. But when you're there, they don't care. Like they think it doesn't matter what he says. I haven't got to take orders from him. And they run rings around me, mate.
Crazy. You just get fed around the house.
Yeah, I get junkyard dog time
Um,
basically all the time.
so anyway, that's the Instagram post of the week. Speaking about Joe, by the way, I want to say thanks to the 250 Patreons. If we would have 700 Patreons or 750 Patreons, we could do the videos every month, mate.
We'd have some pocket money as well, wouldn't we? To
Every
spend
month.
as well, probably, wouldn't we?
That would depend.
Cool.
Would
Imagine the
depend
end of
what we would
season
do the
party we'd
videos.
be able to on that. Could you imagine we'd be able to get all our mates around, wouldn't we?
Flipping hell.
God,
Then
imagine how
even
good the
Tom would
stag
be
party would be.
on the cashew.
Yeah, you'd be on the
Even
cashew
Tom
nut
would be
butter
in the
there.
cashew nut butter for.
You'd be giving it away to other athletes at the race, wouldn't you? God, imagine how much cashew nut butter and stuff we could get.
Cashew nut butter for
We'd
you.
be on
Cashew nut
caviar
butter
for
for you.
starters as well, wouldn't we?
No. Mate, yeah, thanks for listening, everyone. Don't forget to rate that show. Like on Spotify, you can rate the show, or on iTunes, you can rate it. We really appreciate it. And yeah, if you want to see some videos on YouTube, something like that. Kind regards, Tommy and Joe. Joe, I'll see you next week. And oh no, first we'll do another podcast, and then I'll drive down to Nice. So we'll have another chat before I'm driving down.
Oh
Mate,
yeah, get
best
your
of
Red
luck
Bulls,
training.
mate. Get the Bangs or Red Bulls, something like that. That's what you need.
I'll take the bangs and I'll bang it out there. You have some great
Oh,
training
by
with
the
the
way,
club there.
before we do Nice, mate, I've got a real nasty pre-workout drink that we should try.
What's
Oh,
that?
it's got everything in it, mate. This was like I looked on Amazon. This is one of the most potent ones I could find. Tastes disgusting. I had it in the sub 7 on the run. It took me 2 laps to drink the bottle because it was so horrible.
What the hell is that?
It's a horrible pre-work. All them pre-workout ones taste rank, don't they?
But do you? Is it like legal
Oh yeah,
to
yeah, it's
buy that
legal. Yeah,
stuff?
it's got like it's meant to be like tested, informed sport or whatever.
Right.
So don't worry, I ain't gonna screw you
Because
over.
Joe, a professional athlete like me, I can't take
You
stuff
can't
like that
risk it.
because
I
I
know you
always need to
can't risk
check.
it, mate. Your reputation's at stake. All those results would be put into disrepute. So I wouldn't expect you to risk that. I wouldn't want you to get your 11th place or 10th place at Switzerland like turned over. That wouldn't be fair of me.
I
Where
know
was it you
that
finished
is
in Switzerland?
and fifth place in Cork, just behind Alistair Brownlee, where I give him a run for his money.
Where was it you finished in
Um,
Switzerland?
12th,
Could you imagine if you
and
finished if you did fail the test? They'd be like, he finished 12. He cheated for 12th in Switzerland. If he hadn't have done that, he would have probably finished 20th or something.
yeah, what a cheat!
Yeah, what if he did all that to get 12?
All right. Anyway, we should do a podcast one time about drug tests and all that because I'm quite curious how you've got
Oh
a
my
lot of
god, they're
experience how
targeting
it
me,
goes.
mate. They're always with me. They're always targeting me. You know.
Yeah, but we should like do a test. Like what are the tests? I've done one test, Joe, on my first Ironman full
Yeah,
distance, my first ever as an age grouper, my first ever
really.
race. I
You
got
must have thought,
tested.
"God, these guys are a bit intense. I'm an age grouper, and they're testing me."
But there was a reason for that because I was absolutely extraordinary
Yeah,
that day.
good job, good job. They weren't testing. Good
Again.
job they weren't testing you after a night out at uni. You would have never made it as a professional, would you? You'd have been like had a lifetime ban before you even started.
um, yeah. Anyway, thanks for listening, everyone. Yeah, like, subscribe, share, Patreon, all that stuff. Love the support. Say hi to him, Joe.
See you later, guys.
See you. Bye bye.